A wee bit of an earlier start this morning. Good Monday morning. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning, mostly at 8 o'clock. Got an early appointment I got to head to, so I figured I'd kick the live stream off early. But one thing about this program is we record live to tape and give you those segments so you can dial in on exactly what you're looking for. So a couple of segments we'll do today. One, prison safety. State Representative Adam Niemer raising concerns about illicit drugs getting into the prison system. But also, we got to talk about population. And Governor J.B. Pritzker's deputy governor last week saying Illinois is growing, not shrinking. So we got to get to that as well. But obviously, here with Illinois in Focus Daily, there's going to be a lot of focus this week on the corruption trial of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Last week, the Center Square's Jim Talamonte captured the speaker walking into the federal courtroom with a sole protester holding a sign saying shame. So, of course, we'll be tracking that. Opening statements are expected this afternoon in the Madigan corruption trial, where you have this morning, they're going to be going through and ensuring they've got all their alternate jurors. So that's going to be a fascinating case because it's a 10-year-long, 9-year-long corruption scheme that federal prosecutors allege against Madigan, saying that he curried favor from ComEd through jobs for his associates in exchange for getting ComEd-favored legislation through the State House. So personal enrichment using his public office, which is a big no-no, especially if it's done by way of bribery and racketeering. So we'll watch that closely. Something else we're going to be watching closely today is the Southern District of Illinois Federal Court, where the gun ban is being challenged, and Judge Stephen McGlynn giving today being that deadline for the litigants to file their briefs. Checked on Friday, nobody filed anything. Checked earlier this morning, nobody's filed anything over the weekend, so we could see those filings come at the end of the day today. When will McGlynn issue his ruling? Still have yet to be seen. Of course, it could be, tomorrow. It could be 3 weeks from now. So obviously something we'll definitely be monitoring. Whenever that comes out, we'll report that out immediately. But of course, here with Illinois in Focus Daily, with the Center Square and America's Talking Network, we've got other things to tackle in some depth. We'll talk population loss next. Is the state losing population, or is the Pritzker administration's adherence to their take that we're growing really the reality? We'll delve into that here with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us each and every weekday morning here with Illinois in Focus Daily.
There has never been more people living in the state of Illinois than there is today.
Oh, okay.
Well,
if you don't admit that you're losing population, then you don't fix the problems.
It's Andy Manar, the deputy governor for Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, talking about how Illinois is growing, but WirePoint's President Ted Dabrowski saying that's just not the case. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. With us, of course, each and every weekday morning. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell with America's Talking Network. So get the headlines at thecentersquare.com. You'll see there a headline about the Pritzker administration continuing to deny population decline. Here is Deputy Governor Andy Manar last week in Chicago at a Better Government Association discussion about pensions. And the question about economic trends came up. David Greising with the BGA asking the question, but Manar interjecting about population decline.
Focus in particular on company relocation decisions, but there are other factors such as the population loss that we've had in recent years.
We haven't had population loss.
We have not.
No, we have
not. Not in the last couple of years, but over the last 10 years?
There has never been more people living in the state of Illinois than there is today.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I want to.
Sorry, I've been reading too many IPI editorials.
If the census is the census. There's a thing called the post-enumeration survey that shows that Illinois gained population. It's a correction.
Right.
And it's a real correction from the Census Bureau. So I just want to dispel that right away. Illinois is not losing people. Illinois is gaining people.
So Deputy Governor Manar saying Illinois is not losing people, Illinois is gaining people. Well, I reached out to Ted Dabrowski with WirePoints, and they actually have the most recent census data that they show at their research center. Another annual census migration report, an under 93,000 net loss of Illinoisans to other states. And this is the fresh estimate data released by the Census Bureau last week on Thursday. So clearly, that's something that's pretty interesting to see broken out here. Well, I talked with WirePoint's president, Ted Dabrowski, and he shared some of his thoughts of what exactly is going on here with the Pritzker administration denying population decline.
Well, I was surprised that Manar stood so strongly in defending the Governor Pritzker's stance that we're growing, the population growth. He tried to be adamant about that it's growing, and I'm sorry, but it's not true. If you go look at the census numbers on their site, you will see that they've made no adjustment in favor of what Pritzker and Manar are saying. So we lost. We're one of 3 states in the country to lose population in the decade of 2010 to 2020, and we have lost 3 years in a row since the last count in 2020. We've lost another 240,000 people. So we are shrinking. Manar's is incorrect. He's not telling the truth.
So in talking with Dabrowski, he's somebody who watches these numbers closely. And I asked him about all of the other instances where you've got population decline being shown in data. It's not just the U.S. Census data. It's other government agencies and private sector agencies as well that are looking at all this data.
They're just trying to hang on, right? You look at every piece of data, IRS, moving vans, everything is showing this massive outmigration of people. But let me make one point clear about that census correction. They did an analysis, and they said that they believe, based on there's a teeny sample that they ran, and they said that they may have some errors in Illinois. But we talked to the census directly on this, about this issue. And they said, we will not change the numbers. We cannot change the numbers because the little sample, this error thing that they came up with came from such a small sample. They said they could not apply it to the full population. So they have not adjusted the numbers in the way that Manar is trying to say they have. So that's point number one. But to your other point, everything is showing that outmigration losses are huge. The one thing that we have working to counter that are the illegal immigration, and maybe that's providing some support, and it may provide more support. But nevertheless, when you look at the numbers, Illinois is at the bottom of all the lists in terms of losing people, and so it's going to need a lot of net immigrants from other countries to come in to plug that hole.
Now, obviously, Illinois is right here in the heartland of America. We are considered some of the most representative demographics of the country. We were once the 6th most populous state. I think we're now below Pennsylvania because of population decline. Is population decline a nationwide trend, or are other states, including our neighbors, growing? And again, looking at all the data, WirePoint's president Ted Dabrowski breaks that down for us.
They're just trying to hang on, right? You look at every piece of data, IRS, moving vans, everything is showing this massive outmigration of people. But let me make one point clear about that census correction. They did an analysis, and they said that they believe, based on the small, I hate to be negative, but if you're running a good state, and it's economically healthy, and you get a lot of freedom, good opportunities to grow your family, grow your business, grow your incomes, then that's where you're going to. And you look at Florida and Texas and Carolinas, even Indiana. I mean, even our neighbors, they're growing, they're thriving. And if you're in a shrinking state, like there were 3 states that shrunk in the last decade, there's West Virginia, Mississippi, and Illinois. Pritzker doesn't want to be in that club, and so he wants to hide that. But the reality is that people aren't finding their opportunities here. They're leaving Illinois in droves, and it's a bad sign on a governor who's got bigger ambitions. It says bad things about what's happening here.
So again, the Pritzker administration, every time we've asked them, if there's an opportunity to ask them questions in person about population decline, especially as these numbers continue to come out, and there's different subsets of numbers, right? I mean, I think you get the annual census estimates around Christmas time, which is always interesting. And then after that, you see census estimates broken down by state, census estimates broken down by county, and it goes even down further. Then you get the IRS migration data every year. Then you get the van lines and the U-Haul data that they release on their own, these private sector agencies. So again, all of this for years has shown a trend for Illinois going down. But again, the Pritzker administration's adamant that Illinois is not losing population. More from Dabrowski.
If you don't admit that you're losing population, then you don't fix the problems. We got lots of problems, whether it's on taxation, on crime, home values, job opportunities, where you got the third highest unemployment in the country. Our job creation is one of the worst. Since Governor Pritzker took office, we've got the 4th worst economy in the country. Those things matter to people, and people are leaving the state to go find either their freedom, their opportunities elsewhere. And so it's a big thing we've got to turn around, and we've got to turn it around. Greg, if we don't, we're going to keep losing people and get in that negative spiral. And this is too great of a state to allow that to happen. Let's not forget that this also, population matters for representation in Congress. We used to have 27 representatives. Now we're down to 17, and we're projected to go down to 15. So our influence nationwide is just really dropped and collapsed. The other big part is, money from the federal government. They look at population, share population, and that's where the money goes. So as we shrink, we're going to get less money from the feds. So those are 2 big things.
And delving into the numbers, I also asked Dabrowski about their latest report of the 93,000 lost Illinoisans to other states. And this is, again, you can find at wirepoints.org, and you can see the numbers for yourself. Fresh estimates released by the Census Bureau Thursday. Illinois netted a loss of 93,247 residents to other states. The losses are on top of a net 116,000 and 141,000 who fled in 2022 and 2021. So you're looking at those numbers stack up. But more from Dabrowski.
Well, yeah. So we have new census data that just came out, and it shows that from an out-migration perspective, Illinois netted losses of 93,000 people to other states. We lost on a net basis to 36 states, gained from a few. But 93,000 Illinois net left, 3rd worst in the country. Only California and New York are worse. And we watched our neighbors. They gained. We lost on a net basis to all of our neighbors. So all bad news. And Indiana was the 7th largest gainer of people. They gained 30,000 people, number 7. So even our neighbors are doing well.
And thanks to Ted Dabrowski from WirePoint giving me some reaction to the governor's office still adamant that Illinois is not losing population when most of the numbers are indicating that the case is Illinois is losing population. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Join us each and every weekday morning here with America's Talking Network. while back, I want to say probably a year and a half, if not 2 years ago, did a story on a retired prison officer turned labor observer. He talked about how there was some contraband getting into the prisons by way of drug-laced paper. And it was a big problem. Safety issues, not just for prisoners, but for staff who may be handling these things. And he'd heard of instances all throughout his tenure of being in labor relations. But now we've got another issue here where a state representative has stakeholders coming out to him saying that something needs to be done with Illinois' prisons, as there is illicit drugs getting into the prison system. State Representative Adam Niemerg, I connected with him yesterday. Thanks to him for allowing me to chat with him on a Sunday. But he's announced that he plans on touring some facilities and is even inviting Governor J.B. Pritzker to go on those tours. It's Illinois in Focus Daily, each and every weekday morning with you. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell with America's Talking Network. So I connected with State Representative Adam Niemerg, a Republican from downstate, and here are some of his thoughts about prison safety.
Well, prison safety, and first off, Greg, thanks for having me on with you here today. Prison safety is a serious issue here in the 102nd District. Over the last several months, I've received notices from Department of Corrections employees complaining really about an issue where drugs are being smuggled into the facilities. First, it was beginning in Lawrence. It's a max security prison, and they were smuggling drugs via correspondence, letters, where there's a substance sprayed on a piece of correspondence, mail, letter, and then it is sent to the facility, and the employees are opening that and inhaling that substance and having to be sent to the hospital. It's a very, very serious issue because the inmates are taking that substance, rolling it, and then smoking it on that correspondence that's coming in. So it's a very serious issue. Unfortunately, we started to see this all over the state, and now we see it in the Robinson Correctional Facility over the last several weeks. It's become much more prevalent. And unfortunately, the Department of Corrections has not taken corrective action to date on this particular issue. And it looks like the union in Springfield, ASME, is also having a difficult time, or maybe not doing what they need to be doing to correct this issue. But I have heard from the local folks in Lawrenceville and in Robinson, the union-affiliated working class folks that are boots on the ground, that they are trying to reach a resolution, are trying to push safety in the workplace in the Department of Corrections here in these facilities. But they're running into some difficulty with the heads of the union in Springfield, as well as the Department of Corrections. So this has come to my desk, and it's a very serious issue because it's hospitalized many Department of Corrections employees, and it must be taken care of.
And we'll do what we can to get some of the specifics on those hospitalizations Niemerg says he's being told about. But again, this is an issue that's gone back, at least to my awareness, several years. And he says he wants to tour. He has requested a tour of some facilities that he's hearing about these stories.
Absolutely. So we sent a letter about a month ago requesting a tour, and I wanted that tour to happen in early October, but the administration, for one reason or another, just gave us a little bit of the runaround, and I'm very happy that we're able to tour the facilities, but it's going to be early November when we're going to have an opportunity to tour both the Robinson and Lawrenceville facility. Ask direct questions, and I want direct answers to those questions about why this is happening and why nothing is being done to mitigate this from occurring. And in my mind, it's very simple. These inmates have iPads, whether you like it or not. I don't think they should have iPads. My kids don't even have the iPads that the inmates have, but they have iPads. Just make a copy of that correspondence, have that correspondence then go via iPad to the inmate, and it would solve this issue. Or you penalize that particular inmate if that has correspondence coming in that goes to that inmate that has these substances on them. So it seems like an easy fix, but unfortunately, in the woke culture that we belong in here in the state of Illinois right now, they kind of prioritize these inmates, these perpetrators, these criminals, over the working class people that are inside these facilities trying to keep everybody safe.
So Niemerg also, in a statement he released on Friday, invited the governor to come along with these tours in early November. Has he heard back?
No, we have not, and I certainly hope the governor does have the opportunity and does have the time, I am asking the governor to come and tour these facilities with us in early November, give him an opportunity firsthand to see what's going on, because in my mind, this is an issue that just needs resolved. Whether or not you're pro-union, anti-union, whether or not you're Democrat or Republican, this is a common sense issue. This is something that should not be happening, something that should be solved, and there's an easy fix to it.
So what is that fix, right? I mean, as I shared with you earlier, I had talked to somebody in the labor space of corrections a year and a half or 2 years ago about this very issue, and they were spelling out how it might take some more resources and scanning equipment to possibly scan all these letters to do something with, either scan them for drugs or just put them in a digital form so that they don't continue to spread throughout the prison system and all of the health issues that there are for the staff and the inmates. What's the solution here? Again, talking with Adam Niemerg, state representative from downstate, he shared his thoughts.
Well, it's fairly simple. I did hear from an individual who is retired, and I know multiple individuals that are still working in the facilities that have extensive knowledge of the Department of Corrections and really know how to solve this problem. The individual that I spoke with just a few days ago told me that they were told by somebody in Springfield, the Department of Corrections, that the inmates must feel that piece of paper in order to feel the love of whomever sent them that correspondence, which we think is absolutely ridiculous. So it's pretty simple. We get over the ridiculousness of it and just actually solve the problem. These correspondence can come in, they can be scanned, they can be loaded into an iPad, and they can be sent directly to that inmate. You cut out any correspondence that'll go directly to that inmate. Therefore, you take away the initiative to actually lace these pieces of paper with these substances, because the intent is to reach that inmate. In addition, if somebody does do this, if that is still an issue where they do not want to say, okay, let's not put them on the iPads, let's still have these correspondence go directly to the inmate, we'll penalize that inmate, take away privileges, do something to enforce something on that inmate to keep these correspondence from coming in. We tell our kids all the time, there's consequences for your actions. If you do something wrong, you're going to be held accountable. But yet, these folks that are in these facilities that commit these crimes, we're still giving them more to do than our children. So it's a situation where you load it into an iPad, you send it to them, and it solves it.
Again, thanks to State Representative Adam Niemerg for allowing me to chat with him yesterday about this issue. And maybe, I don't know, if he's going to go on a tour, could media tag along? So maybe I'll talk with him about that as well. And obviously, more updates are going to come from that story. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell with America's Talking Network on YouTube, live each and every weekday morning with Illinois in Focus Daily. But also go to thecentersquare.com and get the latest headlines on how you are being impacted by state governments. Things that obviously are going to be coming up this week, we'll chat about all throughout the week here with Illinois in Focus Daily. All right, guys, that's all I got for you this morning. Again, a little bit of an earlier jump to the day, just because I got some stuff going on. I got to get to an appointment, truck maintenance, and it could last all day, so I want to get it in there as soon as possible. Plus some stuff going on at the Capitol. Listen, we've got some news conferences to cover from Mayor Brandon Johnson giving an update on new arrivals mission. You got Governor J.B. Pritzker's holding some event. But also some Republicans are going to be discussing politics ahead of the election. Don't forget, you've got the Madigan trial that could have opening statements this afternoon, so we'll review some of that tomorrow morning. And also, we'll be keeping a close eye on whatever happens with the gun and magazine ban. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell with us each and every weekday morning here with Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air, and you'll be able to connect that way and go to thecentersquare.com to get the daily newsletter of the headlines you need to know. All right, have a great morning. Happy Monday.
So,